Chrysania stared into the darkness. So it had been looking back at her. Now that Caramon spoke of it, she could sense something out there. Or, as Caramon said, some things. That's like cameras, stuff spying on us, bugs, recording. The longer she looked and concentrated upon them, the more real they became. Although she could not see them, she knew they waited. Just beyond the circle of light, that is knowledge, cast by the medallion. Those are the people that she's gone out with. Their hatred was strong, as Caramon had said, and, what was worse, she felt their evil flow chillingly around her. It was like Chrysania caught her breath. Like, not marrying me because of being the heir or whatever. or stopping her from getting married to anybody. What? Caramon cried, starting up. St, she hissed. So that's 2 letter S's and a letter T, which means gripping his hand tightly. So it means what? I want to bite the person that took the thing from me. Nothing. It's just, I know where we are, she said in hushed tones. He did not answer, but turned his sightless eyes toward her. The Tower of High Sorcery at Palanthus, she whispered. So that represents using drugs in the Seattle area. Portland or Seattle area. I'm not doing that, so why the hell are they there? I have, so maybe they constantly use that, in my lifetime or whatever. You shall not grow old, that song says. How awful. Because of one poppy day? Maybe. Anyways, where Raceland lives? Caramon looked relieved. Yes. No. Chrysania shrugged helplessly. It's the same room I was in, his study. But it doesn't look the same. It looks like no one's lived here for maybe 100 years or more, Caramon. That's it. He said he was taking me to a place and time when there were no clerics. That must be after the cataclysm and before the war. Before. See, the cataclysm is when the fiery mountain came down. That represent Palmby. Devastating the landscape and actually it changed the landscape. It changed the whole world and actually terraformed it because of the explosion being so big or whatever. That's a scary thing, It's been symbolic for so many things, trying to wake people up to, the importance of just being legal, letting something go, or whatever, Before he returned to claim this tower as his own, or maybe just having confidence. That could have been the main problem from the beginning. Somebody not telling me his concerns, or somebody not, whatever. Before he returned to claim his tower as his own, Caramon said grimly, "And that means the curse is still upon the tower, Lady Chrysania." The curse upon the drugs? Yes. Definitely don't want to do that. That means we are in one place in Kryn where evil reigns supreme. Means the people doing drugs. What is the word evil? It is asking what group will balance or measure or whatever for us. The one place where no mortal dared tread. guarded by the Shoikan Grove. The Shoikan Grove. It's the Shoikan, though. And the gods know what else. He has brought us here. We have materialized within its heart. Chrysania suddenly saw pale faces appear outside the circle of light, as if summoned by Karaman's voice. Karaman's voice, that would represent people, more people knowing than she expected. Disembodied heads staring at her with eyes long ago closed in dark and dismal death. They floated in the cold air, their mouths opening wide with anticipation of warmth, of warm living blood. So they're like executed? Why? Karaman, I can see them. Chrysania choked, she shrinking close to the big man. I can see their faces. I felt their hands on me, Karaman said, shivering convulsively, feeling her shivering as well. He put his arm around her, drawing her close to him. They attacked me. Their touch froze my skin. That was when you heard me yell. But why didn't I see them before? What keeps them from attacking now? Weird. Maybe those would be people we wouldn't have wanted to share with. I don't know. Don't believe in killing people, though, especially for just knowing something. You, Lady Chrysania, you are a cleric of Paladine. That means somebody looking for a date. These are creatures spawned of evil, created by the curse. They do not have the power to harm you. Chrysania looked at the medallion in her hands. The light welled forth still, but even as she stared at it, it seemed to dim. So it's like she's not wanting to share as much. Guiltily, she remembered the elven cleric Lorelon. She remembered her refusal to accompany him. Her words rang in her mind. You will see only when you are blinded by the darkness. The darkness represents people maybe wanting us dead for knowing too much or whatever, because they want their whatever to be the only people that know. That a person could be romantically connected to another person in the way that we obviously are or were. I am a true cleric. I am a cleric, true, she said softly, trying to keep the despair from her voice. But my faith is imperfect. These things sense my doubts, my weakness. Perhaps a cleric as strong as Illiston would have the power to fight them. Ouch. I don't think I do. So, Illiston, wow. Crazy. Of course, he wouldn't have helped them if he knew everything that was going on. He wouldn't have helped the one true king. Of course not. Nobody would have. Just, what's the intention? Covering up something? Making sure I'm dead and taking everything from me? That's not exactly what he signed up for, is it? But it doesn't really mean that he's trustworthy. Who knows what they've done to try and control him or threaten him or whatever. In his mind, he might have to obey or else he goes to prison for what he did to her, too. Let's see. So Chrysania looked at the medallion in her hands. The light welled forth still. You can tell people. But even as she stared at it, it seemed to dim. Guiltily, she remembered the elven cleric. Okay, I already read that. I'm a cleric true, she said softly, trying to keep the despair from her voice. But my faith is imperfect. These things sense my doubts, my weakness. Perhaps a cleric as strong as Illiston would have the power to fight them. I already read this part, I'm sorry. I don't think I do. The glow dimmed further. My light is failing, Caramon, she said after a moment. Looking up, she could see the pallid faces eagerly drift nearer, and she shrank closer to him. What can we do? What can we do? I have no weapon. I can't see. Caramon cried out in agony, clenching his fist. Hush, Chrysania ordered, grasping his arm. That's actually helping the creatures right there. And she's been tricked into feeling guilty as well and wanting to cover up for them. Her eyes on the shimmering figures. They seem to grow stronger when you talk like that. Perhaps they feed off the fear. That's exactly true. We're trying to control them all with fear. Those in the Shoaikan Grove do, so Delamar told me. So Delamar would represent my apprentice, or those inspired by me, being trained by me. In the word is Father, LA, moving to a better place. And Mother, moving to a better place. Father, Los Angeles, and Mother, moving to a better place. So it represents just like, being a perfect couple, or the one that, America should follow, or whatever. It's what I was working on, what I was trying to do. Definitely not for any religion right now, because of, everything that's happened, and of course they understand. Caramon drew a deep breath. His body glistened with sweat. See, he's married. His body glistened with sweat, and he began to shake violently. We've got to try to wake up Raceland, Chrysania said. Is that oops? Of course it is. Wake me up to what? See, people obviously have been trying to get this girl to believe that they would follow her, that she would have power, or that she would be able to tell them what to do, or whatever. Just so that she would help them take everything from me and from us. I don't really know what they're involved with or what they're doing, but it's very obvious that that's correct when they let me know that this is true and that's gone on. I think it comes from like the older version of her. We've got to try to... Okay. No good, Caramon whispered through chattering teeth. I know. We have to try, Chrysania said firmly, though she shuddered at the thought of walking even a few feet under that terrible scrutiny, because she doesn't want the ceiling to collapse on her, the people that are controlling her. She doesn't want them to hurt her. She wants to pretend that she's with them. Be careful. Move slowly, Caramon advised, letting her go. Holding the medallion high, her eyes on the eyes of the darkness, Chrysania crept over to Raceland. She placed one hand on the mage's thin, black-robed shoulder. See, over one shoulder was our children. Over the other shoulder are our parents needing pre-death funerals. She placed one hand on the shoulder. Raceland, she said as loudly as she dared, shaking him. Raceland! There was no response. Wow. I thought I almost heard her voice say, "I'm in love with you" right now to me. Almost, but not quite. Weird. There was no response. She might as well have tried to rouse a corpse. Thinking of that, she glanced out at the waiting figures. Would they kill him? She wondered. They would definitely try to put me in a hospital and put something in my food. Give me, something with the side effect of death. They already have done this, and try to kill me that way. Yes. After all, he didn't exist in this time. The master of past and present. They actually think they could get away with it. The master of past and present had not yet returned to claim his property. This tower would be drugs? The hell? I guess only other people would understand that. Or had he? I don't have any tower. Chrysania called to the mage again, and as she did so, she kept her eyes on the undead, who were moving nearer as her light grew weaker. "Phisidonalis," she said to Raceland. "Yes," Caramon cried, hearing her and understanding. "They recognize that name. What's happening? I feel a change." "My father?" Is Phisidonalis. Fist and ant ill us. So the letters IL has been trying to wake us up to Derry being sick and killing people, but it also means the work that I'm doing. I've been trying to get him involved, but when it gets him involved, he'll be surrounded, people will be funded around him to almost try to take it from us. And then you might find that with 2 L's somewhere else, where that's true. Hopefully it's not true. Hopefully it's just, just and, honest, and wanting everything honest and wanting to help. Because my dad's not part of any tower either. So anyways, but people could be trying to frame us though. I know that it's true that my memory was taken, probably put my hands on things, so there'd be fingerprints. I was dumb enough to help a lady with her groceries, and the bags that I touched were not normal. Like, they were the type that would be more likely to put fingerprints on it. But I've already, let the police and FBI know about this or whatever. So, let's see. So they've stopped. They're looking back. They're looking at him now. "Get back," Caramon ordered, rising to a half crouch. "Keep away from him. Get that light away from him. Let them see him as he exists in their darkness." "No," Chrysania retorted angrily. "You're mad. Once the light's gone, they'll devour him." My brother's embarrassed too. And they've known how to use that. It's our only chance." Lunging for Chrysania blindly, Caramon caught her off guard. He grabbed her in his strong arms and yanked her away from Raceland, hurling her to the floor. Then he fell across her, smashing the breath from her body. So she's not getting married anymore? "Caramon," she grasped for air. They'll kill him. No." Frantically, Chrysania struggled against the big warrior, but he held her pinned beneath him. So he's asking her to have faith in somebody out there and wants things to be more secretive. Where is this found? I don't know. But we definitely should be contacted. The medallion was still clutching in her fingers. Its light glowed weaker and weaker. Twisting her body, she saw Raceland lying in darkness now, outside the circle of her light that would represent the people she's told. Raceland, she screamed. No, let me up, Caramon. They're going to him. But Caramon held her with all the more firmly, pressing her down against the cold floor. That would mean staying poor. His face was anguished, yet grim and determined. His sightless eyes staring down at her. His flesh was cold against her own. He needs money too. His muscles tense and knotted. She would cast another spell on him. That would mean putting everything negative in the past. The words were on her lips when a shrill cry of pain pierced the darkness. Paladine, help me, Chrysania prayed. That would be the next person she comes across that she doesn't know that wants her. Nothing happened. Weakly, she tried one more time to escape Caramon, but it was hopeless and she knew it. And now, apparently, even her god had abandoned her. Crying out in frustration, cursing Caramon, she could only watch. The pale, shimmering figures surrounded Raceland now. She could see him only by the light of the horrid aura their decaying bodies cast. Her throat ached and a low moan escaped her lips. As one of the ghastly creatures raised its cold hands and laid them upon his body. Ew. Did she pretend to enjoy it? Raceland screamed. Beneath the black robes, his body jerked in spasms of agony. Caramon, too, heard his brother's cry. Chrysania could see it reflected in the deathly pale face. Let me up, she pleaded. But though cold sweat beaded his forehead, he shook his head resolutely, holding her hands tightly. Raceland screamed again. Caramon shuddered, and Chrysania felt his muscles grow flaccid. Dropping the medallion, she freed her arms to strike at him with her clenched fists. But as she did so, the medallion's light vanished, plunging them both into complete darkness. Scary. Caramon's body was suddenly wrenched off hers. His hoarse, agonized scream mingled with the screams of his brother. Dizzily, her heart racing in terror. That means having sex, and afraid of the person she's having sex with. Chrysania struggled to sit up, her hand pawing the floor frantically for the medallion. That was, the medallion's tied to her tattoo and being able to get way more than everything she ever wanted as a child or a person planning her future or whatever. But somebody else, when I was sharing what I was doing as I was working, and other people obviously used her to try to get rid of me, to keep going with what was going on before, just taking Amber Entertainment away from me. Dizzily, her heart racing in terror, Chrysania struggled to sit up, her face pawing the floor frantically for the medallion. A face came near hers. She glanced up quickly from her search, thinking it was Caramon. It wasn't. That means be careful of people hacking my brother. A disembodied head floated near her. Somebody who's already in trouble. Why not go further? No, she whispered, unable to move, feeling life drain from her hands. Her body, her very heart, fleshless hands grasped her arms, drawing her near. Bloodless lips gaped, eager for warmth. That's money. Paladine. So she's stopping where the letter N is found because she doesn't want to have sex for money. The letter N means loving, and it's supposed to be for children. because it means feeding, drinking, the brain down there. Chrysania tried to pray, but she felt her soul being sucked from her body by the creature's deadly touch. Then she heard dimly and far away a weak voice chanting words of magic. Light exploded around her. Suddenly everybody knows. The head so near her own vanished with a shriek. He was busted. The fleshless hands loosened their grasp. They know they have to. There was an acrid smell of sulfur. They were lying that it stunk, but it actually doesn't. That he stunk. He didn't stink. Chirac. The explosive light was gone. A soft glow lit the room. And so it's gone back to pretending we don't know anything. That's what they're doing. Chrysania sat up. "Raceland," she whispered thankfully. Staggering to her hands and knees, she crawled forward across the blackened, blasted floor to reach the mage, who lay on his back, breathing heavily. One hand rested on the staff of Magius. That is my website. Light radiated from the crystal ball clutched in the golden dragon's claw atop the staff. I'm telling people. "Raceland, are you all right?" Without being blocked nearly as much. But they'll still try. They'll still do it. And they'll be busted. And at this point, it's helping attempted murder. "Raceland," they need to contact me and let me know the reason. "Raceland, are you all right?" Kneeling beside him, she looked into his thin, pale face as he opened his eyes. Warily, he nodded, then reached up. He drew her down to him. That means letting go of their promises and money and all this stuff that was fake. That was actually planning on taking it from me. Embracing her, he stroked her soft black hair. That's marriage. He could feel her heartbeat. She could feel his heartbeat. She feels better because I haven't slept with anybody else. The strange warmth of his body drove away the chill. Is she capable of being Pombi? "Don't be afraid," he whispered soothingly, feeling her tremble. "They will not harm us. They have seen me and recognized me. They didn't hurt you?" She could not speak, but only shook her head. She sighed again. He sighed again. Chrysania, her eyes closed, lay in his embrace, lost in comfort. That's because we've been framed as Nazis. Because of embrace, the word embrace. Then, as his hand went to her hair once more, and the fear of that happening to her too, it won't. It'll help us because we'll make money where they do it, where they're gonna do it. She felt his body tense. She felt his body tense, almost angrily, but don't do anything to help. Don't think that helps me by doing that. I should be contacted. I need, money. But yeah, I'm going to start with small claims. Almost angrily, he grasped her shoulders and pushed her away from him. "Tell me what happened," he ordered in a weak voice. "I woke up here," she faltered. The horror of her experience and the memory of Raceland's warm touch confused and unnerved her. That's like saying she's afraid, she doesn't want to, she's concerned for herself and what would happen for helping me. because of the monsters and how disgusting it was what they did to me. And then trying to put her in that same category, which they already have. Way more than she knows. It's totally messed up. The horror of her, but people are gonna know now. The truth will come out. I'll finally have the right to become a Democrat if I want to. And I won't be disabled. Well, actually, how could I ever recover from what's happened? Seriously, has made it so like I might go a whole week without sleeping from worrying about people. Tell me what happened, he ordered in a weak voice. I woke up here, Chrysania faltered. The horror of her experience and the memory of Raceland's warm touch confused and unnerved her. Seeing his eyes grow cold and impatient because of my plan, and knowing that I didn't spend time on emails and stuff like that, on the phones and on the computers, reaching out to them there. I woke up here. That's really evil. I woke up here, Chrysania faltered. The horror of her experience and the memory of Raceland's warm touch confused and unnerved her. Seeing his eyes grow cold and impatient, however, she made herself continue, keeping her voice steady. I heard Raceland shout. I heard Caramon shout. Shout. Raceland's eyes opened wide. My brother? He said, startled. So the spell brought him to? That means trying to put everything negative in the past. I'm amazed that I'm still alive. Where is he? Lifting his head weakly, he saw his brother lying unconscious on the floor. What's the matter with him? See, it's alarming me, too, at the same time. Because he may, of course, we might feel too safe. I cast a spell. He's blind, Chrysania said, flushing. I didn't mean to. It was when he tried to kill you in Istar, right before the cataclysm. So, kiss. So the word kill. So kill, it's kill you. So it could have been kin. It could have been kiss. It's, so it's letting me know that he accidentally helped them from being embarrassed, and they knew what to use against him. It was like, it's too famous and naked. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. And that was being used to kill us. You blinded him. Paladine blinded him. Rassilon laughed. The sound reverberated off the cold stones. That means people talking will reject. And Chrysania cringed, feeling a chill of horror. But the laughter caught in Raceland's throat. The mage began to choke and gag, gasping for breath. Somebody, so he's rejecting her now. Chrysania watched, helpless, until the spasm passed, and Raceland lay quietly once more. Go on, he whispered irritably. Does that make sense? Because of what they did to her. Surrounding her and brainwashing her and trying to turn her against me. And it's like, he's wondering, should I do it? When she's gone that far with them, it's sad. It is the most absolute romantic thing, though, for her to experience. The Chrysania and Lois Lane and Catwoman and all this stuff that they did to save us and bring justice where it, should go. Court. I heard him yell, but I couldn't see in the darkness. It's because they wouldn't let her see. The medallion gave me light, though, and I found him, and I knew he was blind. She tells herself that I don't know what she did. I found you too. You were unconscious. We couldn't wake you. Caramon told me to describe where we were, and then I saw. She shuddered. You hear that? For many, many, many years, since 2012, you'll see on my website where I explain what actually happened. People have been funded and stuff like that, and they'll find out where I'm located, and they'll have people. They'll use like Facebook or whatever works, whatever they're using, and they'll try to have them talk in the background to ruin my love or mess me up or something like that. It's pretty messed up. Earlier, while checking this out, you could actually hear what somebody was saying. Somebody was saying, "Stay away from her, Palmby," or something like that. As he was saying it, the music behind were saying that she was basically kidnapped and blocked, and that he wouldn't have said that if he knew. The music was perfectly synchronized in doing this to him. But they don't know. They will know. Anyways, so it's really evil. I knew he was blind. I found you too. You were unconscious. We couldn't wake you. So the video game I was playing last night for just a brief moment, that was in China or whatever, was like, I want you to train us how to be like you, not just do your movie, because if you just do your movie, people aren't going to know. Is it safe though? Anyways, so okay, where am I? I heard him. Okay, so he said, "Go on." He whispered irritably, like, "Go on, keep helping them, kill and loot me." I heard him yell, but I couldn't see in the darkness. The medallion gave me light, though, and I found him, and I knew he was blind. I found you too. You were unconscious. We couldn't wake you. She has a completely different perspective because she thought that she was aware of everything, and she doesn't want to admit it because it's embarrassing, and she put faith in the wrong places, and she's feeling extremely embarrassed, is what it seemed like last night was the dream or whatever. And we couldn't wake you. Caramon told me to describe where we were, and then I saw. She shuddered. I saw those horrible. Well, see, the people that have been actually trying to help me, somebody has been trying to convince her that they're doing the opposite. That's really messed up. But recently, I was just witnessing, never mind, I won't tell it here. But it's really, really good in my favor. In our favor. Continue. Raceland said. Chrysania drew a deep breath. She has a right to marry, as long as the person isn't forced into it, right? Then the light from the medallion began to fail. Raceland nodded. So that's going the other direction. And those things came toward us. I called out to you, using the name Physidonalis. That made them pause. Then Chrysania's voice lost its fear and was edged with anger. Your brother grabbed me and threw me down on the floor, shouting something about, let them see him as he exists in their own darkness. When Paladine's light no longer touched you, those creatures, She shuddered and covered her face with her hands, still hearing Raceland's terrible scream echoing in her mind. My brother said that? Raceland asked softly after a moment. Ksenia moved her hands to look at him, puzzled at his tone of mingled admiration and astonishment. Yes, she said coldly after a moment. Why? He saved our lives, Raceland remarked, his voice once more caustic. The great Dole actually had a good idea. Perhaps you should leave him blind. It aids his thinking. Raceland tried to laugh, but it turned to a cough that nearly choked him instead. Ksenia started toward him. That's like using Facebook, because of Harvey, Detective Harvey or whatever, sinking his mark. And that's warning me because, okay, so Scientology milked it. Get it? Facebook. Because Harvey Milk goes to the Scientology building, which is Sherlock, in the Sherlock building, so it's showing who was trying to stop her from sharing and stuff like that. It wasn't really just that, though. And somebody else would be grateful that the Scientology would look guilty while thinking it's possible to hide what they're doing to, do something else. That's not really true. That's not really true. It actually shows. It's actually very obvious. So, the best thing to do would just to be honest. Of course. Everybody knows this. Anyways, let me restart this.